Hello everybody, Jason of New Year's Revolution Cave, and it's Thursday, and it's Wrestling with the Past. Ooh, let me get the Friday the 13th standee out of the way. There, I didn't like that. Everything's got to be perfect for me because I'm a diva. Very quickly, and you don't need to jump in and add all your comments, but very quickly, my kid made me laugh this morning, Liam. There's a channel on the Samsung TV has this automatically programmed streaming site that comes with the TV. And it's the one that has, you know, the 24-hour Baywatch channel and the 24-hour Price is Right channel and the 24-hour Deal or No Deal channel. And it's got a 24-hour TNA channel, TNA Wrestling. It's probably a really good, if you had zero money and just needed the free service, it's actually pretty awesome. There's a horror channel. I mean, it's great actually. But every time the TV turns on, it automatically defaults to that. And usually we have the Price is Right, but somehow it got switched to like the crime channel. And yeah, your favorite TV show. Sure. It got switched to like the crime channel. So, you know, whenever the TV comes on, the kids are seeing like, you know, the first 48 hours, you know, like that, you know, crime show. So I had to go in there and reset it and put it on a cartoon or something, whatever I did, whatever. That's not the point. The point was, Liam did not understand what cable was. And so he's spending the night at his grandparents this weekend, and they only have Spectrum. So he cannot understand how he's going to watch TV because there's no Netflix and there's no whatever. So I was like, dude, it's just like when we're at a hotel and he's like, what? Oh, like hotel TV? You got to flip through the channels and there's commercials. So I just wanted to add that. No big deal. All right, Wrestling with the Past, All Star Wrestling, April 13th, 1985. This is the B show. I don't remember when this was on. I know lots and lots of people had different markets and different times. I'm trying to remember. I think this might have been the late night show, but I don't think it was because the late night show, when I was a kid, still had the Hulk Hogan Thriller opening, and that's Championship Wrestling. So I don't know when All Star Wrestling aired. I don't know if it was, you know, Sunday, but that was All American Wrestling. I don't know. In upstate New York, when did All Star Wrestling air? Don't know. Don't remember. Jesse Ventura, Jack Reynolds are ready to go, and for some reason, they're in the ring. They're actually in the ring this time, doing the opening to the show. And then Jesse leaves the ring, and Jack Reynolds goes and takes over ring announcing duties for the first time ever. And Jesse actually makes a comment about it and says, you know, my partner's doing double duty tonight. Are you laughing about duty? We've got Gino Carabello versus Junkyard Dog. And this is the first time on All Star Wrestling that I hear a Howard Finkel voiceover. He's talking about an upcoming show in Worcester, Mass. I assume not a huge show at likely a smaller arena, but this is the first time that there's ever been a voiceover on All Star Wrestling. And even though the episodes are taped in Brantford, Ontario, they're obviously broadcast on, you know, U.S. networks, and so this is the Massachusetts, or the Brantford, Massachusetts TV channel that's covering this show. Nothing special here, but I do enjoy JYD squash matches. I enjoy them. It's always fun, and he always gets to do his usual routine, which of course includes the headbutt on all fours, which again, you gotta love 80s wrestling. It's so silly, you know. He's the Junkyard Dog, so he has to be a dog, and he gets down on all fours and he pounds the mat. And as he pounds the mat, his opponent kind of comes to also on all fours, and then Junkyard Dog rams his head into him. The opponent flops over. Junkyard Dog pounds the mat again. The opponent gets up, hits him with the head again, and then usually the third headbutt rolls the opponent out of the ring. And that happened this time. Junkyard Dog also has this overly exaggerated clothesline that I love because I used to do it with the LJNs. He whips the guy into the ropes, then hits the ropes himself and comes off extremely slowly with the least impactful looking clothesline ever. He literally just drapes his arm over the guy's chest, and the guy falls backwards like he just got hit by a bus. But it's the Junkyard Dog bouncing himself off the ropes too to get the momentum on the clothesline, and it's not a good looking clothesline at all, but it's a fun setup. I like it. Power Slam wins it. That's about it. And of course, at the end, Junkyard Dog, as he's been doing lately, hit and miss lately, here and there, he brings a kid in from the audience to dance in the ring. Could you imagine? Could you imagine being, a fan in 1985 and being brought into the ring by Junkyard Dog to dance? Would that, what else could top that in your life at that point? Next up, we've got debuting Ivan Lavendur. Ivan Lavendur. And I don't even think Ivan is pronounced correctly. I think it's, I don't know how they pronounced it, but it wasn't Ivan or Ivan. I think it was Ivan. Lavendur from Montreal. No kidding. He takes on Don Morocco. I have not seen Mr. Lavendur lately, or ever. He's got Don Morocco without Mr. Fuji again. But this time it doesn't matter much because Mr. Lavendur is no match for Don Morocco. Okay, so Jack Reynolds again, and I've been saying this since the beginning. Jack Reynolds says on the World Wrestling Federation 27 times a show, and I don't know what he's trying to do. Nobody else says it that way, and it's been bothering me since it started. So he will say, the action is hot and heavy. I'm sorry. The action is hot and heavy here on the World Wrestling Federation. We'll be right back on the World Wrestling Federation. What does that mean? What does he think is going on? Right? What is it? Is it like a TV show to him? Like if it was Championship Wrestling, he'd say, coming up next on Championship Wrestling. Now that would make sense. That would make sense. The crowd is hot here today on Championship Wrestling. Makes sense. But we'll be right back on the World Wrestling Federation. I don't get it. I don't understand it. And I don't know why he does it. Anyway, Don Morocco, again, not much to this one either. A couple of early forearms in this one from Don Morocco. He gets Ivan Lavendur in a nerve hold for a little bit of a, this is a very short match. So maybe a minute or a minute and a half of this short match. He's got his opponent in the nerve hold. Morocco has the thumb taped up at this point, which he's had forever. And he comes off the top rope with the thumb, but neither Jesse or Jack Reynolds even make reference to it. I mean, I think it's called the Asiatic spike, right? I think that's what it's called. It's the dumbest. But I think that's what it's called, Asiatic spike. And you would think that you got to call that. You'd think you got to make a big deal about that. But they say that Morocco came off with a clubbing forearm when he's driving this taped up thumb somewhere into the neck of Lavendur.
What are these names?
I don't know. Tombstone, that's it. The Tombstone wins it, totally botched. And I don't know if it's botched by Morocco or Ivan. As he gets him up into the Tombstone, Lavendur's legs start to go this way. So now he's almost, perpendicular to Morocco. It looks very weird. Imagine a T. Morocco's holding him still, but Lavendur's legs are all the way this way. And then just Morocco drops him into probably the least painful move in the world. Just looked so weird. Announcers no-sell it, of course. There's the Tombstone, not the Tombstone, but there's the reverse pile driver. But I don't know who messed that one up, but it looked awful. And then I think it might have been Mr. Lavendur messing it up, because after Morocco wins, he kicks his opponent. He gives him a stomp to the chest. And I don't know. I assume, and again, we're just dumb marks, right? I assume that could be hey, idiot, you just messed that up. Or it wasn't that at all. It's just Don Morocco being a bad guy. I don't know. I like to pretend I know. David Sammartino is up next against Doc Butler. This is the second time we've seen Doc Butler. Butler and David trade arm drags early. Butler actually gets a little bit of offense. But David is no-selling the punches in the corner, which bother me because I get if you're like a monster and you're no-selling punches, right? Like, I don't know, Bundy, right? Bundy or Stud, and you got little Mario Mancini punching you and you're just like, get out of here. But David Sammartino is not a monster, and Lavendure is pretty much similar in size. So why would his punches not have any effect on Sammartino? It doesn't make any sense. But they don't. And Sammartino reverses quickly. Then Sammartino's lately been doing these jabs in the corner, a couple of uppercuts to the gut, and then some jabs. He's jabbing. How's that? Is Bobby Campbell still watching? How's that look? Is that good? Couple of jabs in the corner, and he does hit the deadly German suplex, which has killed 2 people already, and he almost kills Ivan. Not as bad, but he does roll him up on his neck a little bit, does fold him up, and it seems to shake Lavendure for a minute, but no big deal. Not a horribly. What are you looking at? What's the matter?
He killed someone.
Well, that's just for the show. He didn't really kill anybody. Back to your work, please. Hits the German and then follows the German suplex with a power slam. And I really don't want to give David Sammartino any more credit, but the power slam actually looks good. It's a good-looking power slam from David, but I'm losing more and more respect for Sammartino because of how sloppy he seems to be with this one particular move. From there, we've got a Shop Vac commercial. Now, none of these shows of mine have commercials. None of them. And so far, none of them. Some of the house shows do, I think, like the Spectrum shows. But so far, my syndicated shows have no commercials. This one gets overlooked for some reason, and it really is the best part of the show. Because it's a Shop Vac commercial that I remember. 2 people, a husband and wife in a garage, and they're talking about how powerful the Shop Vac is, and the guy turns it on, and it sucks them up to the ceiling. I remember that commercial. I remember it on Saturdays before PBA bowling, to be honest with you. I don't remember it on wrestling, but I remember it. Bret Hart versus Ron Hutchinson. Now, this is big because Bret Hart is starting to become Bret Hart. His hair's longer. He's got the double-strapped outfit on. It's all black with white stripe. So I don't know if that's going to be the Hart Foundation look in the beginning. And at first he shakes Ron Hutchinson's hand, but then as the match goes on, Bret Hart gets very aggressive, and he's becoming bad guy Bret Hart, and it's great because we finally get those snapping Bret Hart punches that I've always loved. We get the snap leg drop from Bret Hart. We get the side backbreaker that Bret Hart does, and he's just got this arrogance about him, and it's great. I love it. So, and Jesse mentions it as well. And now Jesse is, I'm a fan of Bret Hart now. I like this Bret Hart, so, it's coming. The Hart Foundation, I think, is supposed to debut on the April 20th Championship Wrestling show. So we're there. They'll be managed by Jimmy Hart, I assume, because Jimmy Hart has King Kong, but, Jim Neidhart. So what happened? What ends it? Bret Hart ends it with the second rope fist drop, or the elbow, or whatever it is. I don't think he's quite brought the second rope elbow drop, so it's kind of like a second rope fist knee drop kind of deal. But it's coming, and afterwards, Bret Hart kind of mouths off to the crowd a little bit. He's here. I love it. I love bad guy Bret Hart. We got the debut, the very quiet. I don't know if it's the debut. I mean, I've been watching every All-Star episode, and so I think this is the debut of the Body Shop. If it is the debut, it's very quiet. Nobody made a big deal about it, and the set has not yet been established. It's Jesse Ventura. It's a weight bench. He's bench pressing as the camera cuts to the Body Shop, and it's just a gray set. There's no posters. There's no nothing. It's just a gray wall and a bench. and Jesse. And his first guests are Bobby Heenan, Ken Patera, and Big John Studd. And, you know, it's like a 30-minute segment, or 30-second segment. And they just, you know, Andre didn't slam me. It's just the same nonsense. And again, I don't know when Ken Patera leaves. I assume it's got to be soon. We get the, again, for like the, I don't know, how many weeks has it been since WrestleMania? We have a Wyndham and Rotundo WrestleMania recap. Would I even watch this as a kid? Would I get frustrated as a kid that they are showing this match over again? Or would I just be like, oh, I get to see it again? I don't know. Because as an adult, I'm fast forwarding. But would I have been happy to see it again as a kid? I don't remember. I had no choice. I had to sit there. But would I have been frustrated, or would I have been like, this is great? I don't know. We get clearly the main event of this show, and it is this thing that saves this. This has been an awful show so far, and this is the thing that saves it for me. Moondog Spot and Rene Goulet against Ricky Steamboat and Tito Santana. I wonder if Snuka is gone at this point, because this is the first time we get to see Tito and Steamboat on TV. I don't know if they were trying out different things, but I love it. I think Tito and Steamboat should have been World Tag Team Champions. After seeing this match, it's so good. It's so good. You got 4 fantastic guys in there. What a great match, and what a great start. It's such a fast start with, again, Steamboat is just going crazy with arm drags. Tito gets tagged in. He's hitting arm drags, fast tags back and forth. The bad guys start to work over Tito. He makes the hot tag. Steamboat comes in. He's beating up. I mean, it was awesome. It was like a Madison Square Garden house show match. It was so good. And the bad guys did get offense, but every time the bad guys got offense, that would lead to a very hot tag, whether it was Steamboat coming in or Santana coming in. Crowd is into it. It was so good. And it ended really well. Oh, Bob Orton comes out in the middle of it for some completely unknown reason. Cowboy Bob Orton just walks out and, you know, walks around the ring and looks at everybody and then goes back. Don't know why. Don't know why. Steamboat and Santana have nothing to do with Piper and Orton. They're not even worried about, they're in a thing with Paul Orndorff right now. Who cares about Steamboat and Santana? I don't know if we get Steamboat Santana versus Piper and Orton. I don't know if we get that at a house show. I don't know if we get that at a Canadian house show. I don't know. He leaves. No big deal. Doesn't do anything. Nobody even acknowledges him except the announcers. And then the finish. The finish is great. Tito whips, I think it's Goulet. Yeah, Tito whips Goulet into the ropes. Oh no, there's a little bit of a drop down, jump over. Tito, or I forget, but Tito's coming off the ropes. Goulet's coming off the ropes. Tito quickly tags Steamboat and then hits the flying forearm on Goulet. While Steamboat is climbing to the top rope, Goulet gets up. Steamboat hits him with the high cross body. Tito takes care of Spot, and what a match. What a 3-4 minute, yeah, thank you, Liam. What a 4-minute TV match that was. Great match. And it ends. And that's how the show ends. Very, very dull show, except for the last match. All Star Wrestling is not a good show. The announcers are bad. I mean, Jesse's fine, obviously. He's great. But nothing happens on this show, really. And I don't love it. It doesn't even feel like the real show. Even I think as a kid, I knew that Saturday morning wrestling was the show. Even though I was just 9, I knew that Saturday morning was the show, and that All Star Wrestling was like, all right, I'll watch it. But I definitely feel that way now too as an adult. All right, that is all. We will be back. We got another TNT, and then I think another round of Saturday shows, and then some house shows. So that'll be fun as we close out April on Wrestling with the Past. Good night now.